Hey, what's up, my followers? All right, so we are on day 16 of Road to Recovery from my ACL surgery, and I would love to say day 16, I'm feeling awesome, everything's going the right direction, and you know what, it's kind of like life. You get thrown curveballs, and mine have always been health curveballs, and this is no different. So I was back at the doctor today for a couple different reasons. When I am bending and straightening my knee, it kind of feels like my kneecap gets stuck, and then it takes some really forced bending to get it to pop back in, and it's extremely painful. It's definitely not something I would recommend for anyone, and so that was starting to become an increasing problem, and then it was staying stuck for a little bit longer. So I called yesterday, and they decided that they wanted to go ahead and see me. My surgeon's out of town, so I didn't see him. I saw his physician's assistant. And the other thing too is I'm having such increased pain at night. Things don't seem like they're getting better. They actually just seem like they're getting worse. And I have yet to have like a full night's sleep without having, some kind of issue. But then also the swelling seems so odd. Like before I had the surgery, actually before I even found out anything was wrong with my ACL, we only knew it because I'd had some swelling, but it was odd looking. And so when I went into the doctor, they said, oh, that's fluid that you have on your knee. It kind of like is indented. It's just like lumpy, kind of, not just all over swollen. So I went in there and suspected that was what was going on, especially over to the one incision on the side. It gets to be the size of an egg. And so I went in today, saw the physician's assistant, and she was like, there's something very wrong going on right now. There is a lot of fluid in my knee. The kneecap there's a lot of grinding behind the kneecap, which might be a lot of arthritis, and the arthritis might be very aggravated, but the tracking seems off. I also have increased numbness on the inside of my leg that is growing, so now it's almost up to my groin and it's almost down to my ankle. So there's just a couple different things that they're concerned on. They're not sure if it's infection, they're not sure if it's a compressed nerve, if it could be a quad tendon tear. There's a couple different things that could be going on that they need to figure out. So this is putting me back. They had already told me I was not allowed to start PT for 2 more weeks, but now I am basically bedridden until Monday when I see my surgeon, and they'll either drain the knee and see if that fixes things and do a cortisone shot, or talk about some different options. So I'll update you guys when I find out more. Mentally, this is just tough. It's just hard. I got back into the gym last week, and I have been hitting my workouts, and it's been great. It's such a stress reliever for me. It just helps. It brings up my mood. I feel good when I get to move. And so the upper body workouts have been great. I'm able to, luckily because I am educated, and then I work with a trainer that's also educated. We're doing a lot of things that like leave the legs alone, but I still get that sweat. I still get to like work the upper body safely and effectively, and that has just really helped. And it was just, that was one thing that was hard, was being told like, nope, you're in bed rest, like you're not going to the gym, you're not doing any of that kind of stuff, and that's difficult. Going into this, I think you definitely have to have a tough mental mindset to be prepared for recovery. It sounds like a vacation at first to think like, oh, I get to lay in bed and watch shows and have people take care of me. Like, it's great for all of 3 days. And then you come off the drug haze, you come off of the reality or you get in tuned with the reality of the situation. And that's kind of how it is. Now, I know that my situation is not normal for most ACL recovery. So, if you are having the surgery, I really hope that yours is so much easier and textbook than what mine has. But if you do run into these issues and you do have a more complicated surgery like what mine is, that has been filled with complications, you want to go into this mentally prepared for it. So I want to talk to you guys about mental toughness, because if you are going into this surgery, or you know, if you're going into anything that is going to be a difficult thing in life, I think it is so important to prepare yourself, and you need to prepare yourself not only physically, but of course mentally. I think that we can be our own worst enemies. I think that we can determine, we can let our brains determine if we're going to have a good day or if we're going to have a bad day. I could choose to be so down and out about my situation and so upset because I am where I am and that this is not going textbook, and that I'm not able to do certain things on the timeline I had prepared myself for. But what would that accomplish? It accomplishes nothing. It really doesn't. Instead, it accomplishes me feeling more stressed, more anxious, more depressed. I mean, you definitely have a little bit of a depression that comes with this because it's just different. It's out of your routine and whatnot. Come here, you. There's my kitty. She makes me feel better. But you need to prepare yourself. You know, you need to find, what I'm choosing to do with my days is, I choose to find two things that are on the bright side. So when I'm starting to feel it down, I think, okay, what are two things that are a bright side of today? Whether it be something my kids did, whether it be, you know, something my clients tell me. I'm still coaching them through this. You know, this is the great thing about, you know, social media and, you know, online is, yes, of course you get all the crazy stuff like politics and whatnot, but you also get the interactions with other people. So I can still, you know, do my job. I can still coach my people. I can still cheer them on, even though physically I can't be with them. And because I continue to cheer them on, they are helping me by telling me how great their week was, how they were able to do, you know, this, that, and the other thing. You know, it's those things that I look for that are on the bright side. Or, you know, for me personally, what happened? Okay, you know, so I got to walk a little bit longer today. Hey, that's a bright side. Going to the doctors today, you know, it was not the news that I wanted to hear, but I also found out that I have, you know, full range of motion, which is awesome after the surgery and something that's so difficult to achieve afterwards. But then the other thing is too, is I've lost hardly any of my leg strength. So my quads are still pretty decent. Like I've definitely lost volume to them, but I can squeeze them. I can contract that muscle. Same thing with my calves. Like I have kept that strength, which is important because those are two things that are really, really crucial in your rehab. So, you know, if I wasn't having all these complications, I'd actually be weeks ahead of my recovery. And those are things to celebrate. And so that's just a lesson to you guys is every single day you can choose to either wake up and think of all the massive problems that you may have, or, you know, the down on your luck things that can go on in life, or you can choose to wake with purpose. You can choose to wake with optimism. Even the worst situations, there's still a bright side in there, and it's finding that bright side and you know, just focusing on that. And it does help your mood. It does help you feel better because, you know, this can be tough. I have my tough days. I laid on the floor last night and cried and cried and cried because I'm so over this. But then again, in some way, like once this is over and once I am better, like this is going to help me reach out to my clients so much more because I have struggled, and I'm going to be able to use this as a tool. And so I'm going to appreciate this experience. Do I love it? No. Do I hate it at times? Absolutely. But I appreciate it because of what this will do for me. So that's my takeaway. Yeah. Other than that, there's my takeaway. I did get to do massive amounts of chest presses today, which was good. It helps my mood. And then I found out I was not allowed in the gym anymore until after this is done. But yeah. So there's my update. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.